Welcome back to video number 2. We're here in factors you control. As you can see, listen, a lot of people ask the question all day long, and I've seen this all the time, what should I change my landing page? What can I do to improve the conversions, etc. We talked about that in depth in our last training. And by the way, if you're one of those people who's a skipper, you want to skip ahead to the next one over and over and over and over because you think you've got all the answers, please, I'm begging you, go back and watch the previous clip, the introduction, the overview, the case for why landing pages are important. There's some nuggets that have been given out in that one that won't be repeated again, but you'll get a lot of value from it. So go ahead, get involved with it. And by the way, if you liked the last clip, write the comments, my friends. Let me know, give me feedback that you're getting value here and you're understanding this process, because it helps us make our trainings at High Driver Academy even better over and over and over. All right, factors in your control. Now, you can control a lot of things, all things you can't control. I was a big advocate, as I went over in my last clip, I told you that, listen, you should be using SiteSuite or some tool that you can build your own landing pages with, because if you do that, you can control all of these factors across the board. If not, you can hire a designer or a developer or a team to help you implement these adjustments and changes. But let's take a look at what they are. So the factors you control, one is the placement of the call to action. And this is really, really, really important. All calls to action needs to be above the fold. I'll explain this in greater detail as we kind of get into all what this looks like. But it's got to be above the fold. And that's what has always been said for a million years. You've got to have your engagement above this fold. Actually, that isn't always the case. Now, I'm a proponent of making sure I've got a call to action above the fold, but it depends on what your focus of your landing page is. If you're trying to get someone to come to the website and engage, let's say your website has a lot of content, you've got to make a big case before someone will convert. Well, that call to action probably should be a lot further down. They need to scroll down to it. However, if you can make your case concisely and clearly and quickly, and a headline that makes sense, that says, secret formula on, how to, win friends and influence people, or there's a video that's there, then your call to action might want to go above the fold. So wherever the call to action is, which is the engagement, the click, the button that says, hey, I'm ready to rock, I'm ready to roll, I'm going in, wherever that might be, that you have complete control over. And this is one of the factors, your call to action, as to where it's placed, that you have ultimate decisions over. Now write this down, these factors, call to action, where it goes. So this is one of the things that you'll be needing to engage and adjust as we get further along in the training, as we begin to dissect the mathematical equation around conversions. The relevance of the page. In the first instance of a visit, it's affected by how they engage it. And so a lot of people think, and I've seen this all day long, I've seen a lot of landing pages that say, I just want to tell my thoughts consistently and deeply and just tell everybody everything. It's kind of like you get diarrhea of the mouth, and you're just kind of like throwing things out left and right and saying, yeah, I want to tell everybody about my business or about my opt-in, about my program all day long. I want everyone to know what's going on. Well, unfortunately, the relevance of the page that you can control has to match entirely the relevance of the advertisement. Write that down. The page must match the advertisement, because if they don't, then your quality scores of your running pay-per-click are going to go through the roof, which will result in an increased cost to your budget for marketing campaigns. So the relevance of this page is something right in your control, and the length of the landing page. So listen, it's a popular myth that the landing page need to be short landing pages. It's good best practices. However, there's a lot of factors that say that a landing page could be very long. You've seen them all day long where you've got long letters that are engaging people in landing pages. These are commonplace programs. So you can control that one, how long it is, where the call to action goes, what the relevancy of the page is. These are all in your area. Matching the content to the marketing creative. This is 101, boys and girls. Literally, this is 101. Don't put a big banner ad or a big image on the front of a girl sunbathing on the beach when your message is weight loss programs. Is that really going to communicate the message? Because maybe you're going to a guy, maybe you're going to a grandma, maybe you're going to someone who's not a beachgoer, maybe they live in South Dakota. You have no idea. But the reality is, wherever your message is, whatever you're communicating, that message and the creative that brings the user in, like in pay-per-click, for example, in a PPC campaign, the ad groups, the ads, the AdWords, all those together, or in Bing, wherever it might be, they are communicating a message. That message must be relevant to the user. And I'm going to show you some pages as I go further into this one to show you how that messaging really gets specific. And we'll go around that one. Consistency of the messaging. It's important that you replicate the headline copy from your marketing campaign on the landing pages. Now listen, I've been running pay-per-click for a month of Sundays, literally a month of Sundays. And one thing I've learned, I'm going to show you something here and bring it up here on my screen. Okay, so take a look at this, if you will. Take a look at this landing page. So here's a landing page that I created on a site, and I want to make sure the marketing message is 100% associated with it. So over here, I've got Google AdWords, okay, and I got a campaign running over here for Google AdWords called Aliso Viejo Divorce 159, right? So this message is a city. Aliso Viejo is a city in the state of California. So if I click on that ad and engage it, I'm bringing the user over. Here, the landing page which I've got, which is the same landing page you just saw a moment ago, which is right here, you're going to see a difference. Here it says Certified Divorce Filing Service, right? When I clicked on the ad and brought them over, these words changed dynamically to Divorce in Aliso Viejo, California. So here's the ticket. I can, through the landing pages which I create and design, I could change the headlines around entirely to make sure that the message that I'm communicating from an advertisement is carried over to the landing page. Hear me now. This is the biggest golden nugget on the planet Earth. We haven't even got into the anatomy of the page, the details, and all the great trainings I'm giving to you. We haven't even gotten that far. Right now, all we just said was a keyword on pay-per-click mastery. Did you hear it? A keyword that you are running traffic to in Google or in Bing, that keyword, that ad group, that program, whatever the ad, whatever the message, whatever the keywords, whatever the concept that's there, I am applying it specifically to my landing page. Bam! That should go right to the mountaintop, and stars should start to sparkle from the sky, and you should think it's the 4th of July all over again if you're an American. If you're not, that's when we celebrate Independence Day and Happy Day. So listen, that's a big ticket right there. That messaging has to maintain itself all across the board. So once again, Aliso Viejo Divorce was the word I was looking for. I engage it, and I find myself in a place where I can actually make relevance. I'll spend less money in my marketing because my quality scores are going to go through the roof because the message and the landing page are equal across the board. Helpful? I think so. That's right. Snap, crackle, pop. I like it. I'm all in. All right, let's keep going. So, message to the creative, Marketing 101. Consistency of the message. You can control that. You can control the consistency of the message. Whatever you're saying from the advertisement is consistent in the landing page. This may mean you need 100 landing pages or custom technology like we just discussed a moment ago that I've created and built that will allow you to dynamically change all that. I'll get into that a little bit deeper, but that's a real big ticket. Form validation. This is so huge. Listen, when someone comes to your website and you've got a form on the page, by all means, no matter what, make sure there's error validation that's in place on that one. So if someone comes over here and I spent money to engage this and take that ad and put them there, and I'm over here in Aliso Viejo and I want to engage something, I need to make sure I've got error validation, which pops up and tells me, sorry, you can't proceed until you do this or until you do that. every single amazing little form tool that's out there, or lead page creator, or site suite as well, you can create this wonderful validation. You can put that in gear. You don't want someone coming into your site, if it's an opt-in or a registration or a purchase, giving only half the data. You don't want someone coming to the site giving only a nugget here or a nugget there. You want all the stuff in place. So you want to make sure that these forms are set up properly, that everything, when I click on the title or the first name or the last name and I don't fill it in and I try to click the box, stop the person where they are and say, no, give me your name and your address, because where's the value of only having half the data? There's none whatsoever. Plus, the fact that you've got error validation also generates the ability to have trust across the board. They know that there's a comfort there because you are taking the time to get their information in gear and get them started. So another huge one right then and there, score 1 for the home team. I am in. Snap, crackle, pop. Let's keep going, my friends. All right, back again. Matching the content to marketing and creative. Got that one. Consistency of the marketing message. Well, I think we got that one nailed down. Form validation. Make sure that the first name, last name details are there, all in, 100%. And the optimal blend of content. This is important. Sometimes when we build a landing page, we just want to throw a lot of content or a lot of imagery, or a lot of white space. I'm going to teach you how to work with white space, imagery, and content in this training. We're going to go into that in detail. However, the right blend literally is up to you. And these factors, which I just gave you, literally outline for you step by step, piece by piece by piece, exactly the areas where you have fault, where things don't make any money, where things go off the deep end. What will your message be? So, all right, we're getting ready to get closer to actually designing out a landing page, going through a bunch of them, and getting deep into this one here pretty soon. However, you want to ask yourself the question, what is it you're trying to communicate? So, what's the one thing that your product will do? So I want you to write down right now what you think your one thing is going to do for your product, right? And that one thing is going to define exactly what you want to do. So on the example I just showed you, the one thing was to help someone obtain a divorce. That was the one thing on the site we just looked into. So the one thing for my product that will do is help someone obtain a divorce in under an hour. That was the one thing. What is your one thing? To make $5,000 online? To buy a video? Well, that's not the one thing. You're not getting something by getting someone to buy a video. You're getting one thing is what your product will do for them. Why do I need you? You want to ask that question. Why do you have value to me? Because if I'm spending my time with you, why? You've got to answer that question and put yourself in a position of the user to give them that one thing. What's the one thing that your startup will do and do better than anyone else? Now, your startup could also be your product. It could also be your business. It could also be the affiliate campaign you're running. It could also be the network marketing organization that you are promoting. Whatever it is, find out, one, what your product will do, and then find out, two, what your product does better, okay? You've got to know this and write this down. What I'm doing and what I'll do better. Now, what that is, we don't really know, and we're not going to go deep into that at this part of the training, but we'll go further into it as we get a little bit further along the lines. What's the one thing that your brand will represent, okay? Now, listen, you may be an affiliate marketer, you may be an online marketer, you may just be some guy or gal trying to drive traffic on the web. And that's a valuable place to be because you made a major decision to say, I want to make more money on the online space. And that choice that you made, that engagement you said, literally opened up the door to get you here to Landing Page Secrets. So the one thing that your brand will represent, your landing page is a brand. Now your website may be, hightrafficacademy.com or mydivorcepapers.com or clickpromise.com. Your website may be a URL. And maybe a URL you just came up with. I own a URL called raisingmoney.com, right? And that raisingmoney.com can be used for, all kinds of things. Let's say I'm going to use that raisingmoney.com to build a website to have people make a six-figure income or help them engage revenues, right? How to raise money for yourself. That was the idea. Lifestyle lane, that kind of a thing. Well, if that's a ticket, I'll ask the question, what's my product going to do? Well, what is my product? If raisingmoney.com is a place you can learn how to make extra money online, my product is trainings, teachings, let's say. And how will I do it better than anyone else? Well, I'll do it better than anybody else because I'm going to give them homework assignments that no one else really does. I'm going to give them videos, which everyone does, but I'm going to give them videos and homework linked together and give them a testing process. So I'm going to help you become a certified money-making expert. Let's say that's my business. This is all hypothetical, as you know. And what's the one thing that my brand represents? Now, raisingmoney.com means nothing. There's no brand behind it. There's no business behind it. There's nothing. It's a domain name that I purchased and that I own, like the one you purchased and you own that has no value whatsoever, but it's a placeholder. You're running ppcmastery.com and you want to run that campaign, and you've made a website called, Bobby and Jobs and Hobie's PPC program, whatever. You've got a domain that you created that you're going to engage, and you're going to use it to market your landing page to engage someone to the funnel, which is ppcmastery.com. If that is your focus, if that is your program, then what is it your brand? Your brand is the domain name that you created. You've got to create the sense of urgency. You've got to create the sense of pride. You've got to create one message that communicates to everybody that you have what it takes, that you are the best, and they should listen to you because you're credible. I'm going to teach you how. And then realize that every page on your website can be a landing page. You've got to have clear goals that define what you're trying to do, that really open up Pandora's box for everyone. There should not be a page on your website that's not clear, concise, and focused on one simple thing. What was the word we talked about before? The one thing. I should probably put up here and change my whiteboard and say, one thing, and that's it. One thing. One thing makes you money. One thing engages a proper landing page. That's your focus. All right, that gives us what we're focused on right then and there. That's the end of that video. And you know what? Comment down below. See if you got value. You understand the factors you control. Our next video, we're going to go entirely into establishing the goals of your page. I am taking you through this thing step by step. Item by item. I'm going to leave no stone unturned, because if I do, you will come back to me and say, I'm not making the money I need to make. But if at the end of this training, you can sit back and say, I now have a nugget and 10 more that help me change my paradigm, change why I do what I'm doing. I'm going to teach you the anatomy. So we've gone through this one. You know what you can control. You know what a landing page might be. You know what it needs to be specifically engaged on. Now we're going to take that goal and we're going to focus on that one. We'll see you in a few. Cheers.